Yeah, he said I should call you. Yeah, you
Good morning. Please be seated. We welcome you to the commencement celebrating the 179th year since the founding of our university. I would just like to take a moment and remind all of you to turn off your cell phones, pagers. This is a tweet-free commencement. Members of the commencement chorale will now sing for us Cantante Domino. Thank you, Dr. Ray. Well, good morning again, and welcome. What a beautiful, beautiful day. It is Armed Forces Day that we celebrate the commencement as well. And what fabulous weather we have for such a beautiful occasion. Let me be the first to congratulate the class of 2014 on this momentous achievement. I know that you did not get here by yourself. There have been many along the way that have encouraged, have pushed, even maybe prodded at times. And certainly, among the most important of those are with us today, your family and friends. Mothers and fathers, aunts and uncles, grandparents, husbands and wives, and even children. So would our graduates please stand and turn toward your family and friends and thank them for what they did to get you here today. Thank you. I want to say 3 personal thank yous before we get started. As always, we have our Chancellor with us, Dr. Manning Patillo. Manning, thank you for all that you have done and all that you continue to do. And this year, it's our pleasure to have Donald Stanton, former President Stanton, and his wife Barbara are joining us. Donald, thank you. Both Manning and Donald were fortunate to preside over this university as presidents when many of the remarkable faculty that we are recognizing today served. So it is a great tribute to them to have you both with us. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge our board chair, Norm Findley, who is completing his term as chair this summer. Norm and his wife, Adrian, have been stalwart supporters of the university ever since their son, Brian, and their daughter-in-law, Susie, graduated from Oglethorpe. Norm will continue to be serving as vice chair, but we will not be letting him get far away, but I want to make a special thank you to Norm and to Adrian for all they have done. The large stone monument outside our gates that we have all passed thousands of times reads Oglethorpe University, 1835. 179 years, as I said, since the passing of the founding of the university. In 1835, Andrew Jackson was president. P.T. Barnum and his circus began their first tour. There were wars going on in Texas and in Florida. Some things never change. There were only 70 colleges and universities across the entire United States, and Oglethorpe was one of them. And we came on the scene 3 years before our friends across town, and I can never remember the name of that other university there. Now, the marker on the corner of Hearst Hall, something we've also walked by countless times, is a bit less noticeable, hidden behind a bush or a tree. 1915, it reads. And in one year away from celebrating our 100th year anniversary on this campus. In 1915, Woodrow Wilson was president. We're in the midst of the First World War. Harry Houdini performed his first straitjacket escape performance. A great skill, by the way, for university presidents. Babe Ruth hit his first home run for the Boston Red Sox. Einstein formulated his theory of general relativity. And the United States House of Representatives, going back to the circus theme, rejected legislation that would have given the right of women to vote. Certain trends aside, life has changed a whole lot in the last 2 centuries. And not surprisingly, many things have changed about Oglethorpe in that time, and they do continue to change. But some things have remained constant. And this morning, we will have an opportunity to celebrate one of those very special constants, our superlative faculty, past and present. Today, we will award honorary degrees to 20 of Oglethorpe's faculty past, those who hold the status of faculty emeriti, awarded selectively over the years to teachers who have served the university with distinction. 13 of those 20 have joined us today, and I'm going to ask those 13 now to stand, as well as please all of our current faculty to stand so that our students and our guests can honor them. I'll close with just one word of advice for our graduates, our young graduates, and some of our graduates who are not as young. I hit the delightful age of 60 during your last year with us. When you started here, my hair was jet black. I'm not saying you had anything to do with that, but I'm not saying you didn't either. I would say in my 60 years, the one constant has been change. I've seen my 4 children change and change me. I've seen my relationship with my wife Betty change over our 18 years of marriage. I've seen my 4 grandparents and both my parents pass away. I've witnessed the world of work evolve dramatically. Change happens whether we would like it to or not, but I believe each of us have a choice in this regard, whether to affirmatively embrace change and play a role in influencing it, or to passively sit by and be impacted by it. Because of your education here, because of your teachers, your mentors, and your fellow students, you all have the power to be influencers, to be positive forces of change in your family, at work, and in your community. And I look forward to hearing your stories as you grow older. Now we will proceed with our ceremony of commencement. Let me introduce the chair of our Board of Trustees, Mr. Norman Findley, retired Executive Vice President at Coca-Cola Enterprises. Norm?
Thank you, President Schall. President Schall, honored guests, distinguished faculty, alumni, and administration, family and friends of our graduates, friends of Oglethorpe, and especially members of the Oglethorpe University graduating class of 2014. I join President Schall in saying welcome on behalf of all of our trustees. We are so honored that you're here with us today. Now, the first thing that anyone who speaks at graduation is told is be short. And this is not a problem for me. I've been short as long as I can remember. But I'll try to keep my remarks as short as I am today if I can. But wondering how each of you graduates might feel today, I started to think back about my own graduation. And when I told our son, Brian, who graduated Oglethorpe in '99, as President Schall said, that I was going to speak about my graduation, he said, "Dad, be sure to tell him about the stone tablets where they etched your diploma and you had to carry across the stage." And I said, well, you know, my graduation was a while ago, but it wasn't quite that long ago. But I remember it well. I really do, just as you will remember today very well. And I certainly felt happiness and a sense of accomplishment at what I had done and on getting my degree. I knew where I was headed for the next 4 years, which for me was the U.S. Navy, but I had no idea where life would take me after that as I looked further into the future. And I know that some of you know where you're headed for the next year or 4 years or so, and some of you are still working on that. But I imagine that you all have questions about the longer term. And my message to you graduates today is don't worry, it's going to be okay. As a matter of fact, it's going to be very good. And you may be thinking, well, that's easy for him to say. There are thousands of students graduated from colleges all across the country today. Does my Oglethorpe degree really give me an advantage? Well, I sincerely believe that it does. Edward Russ, the chairman and CEO of State Farm, says that only 50% of college graduates who apply to State Farm can pass his company's employment exam that, quote, requires candidates to demonstrate critical thinking skills and the ability to calculate and think logically. So see what I mean? If you've survived Oglethorpe's core, you've already cut the competition by 50%. And as Americans worry more and more about keeping up with the world, I think we need to look back at the example of Steve Jobs. Jobs didn't have to be one of the world's best software coders. All he had to do was develop a vision that would attract some of the world's best software coders. And this is a quote from Jobs. "Technology alone is not enough. It's technology married with liberal arts, married with the humanities, that yields us the result that makes our hearts sing." Pretty interesting, pretty good stuff, I think. And much, much closer to home, as a matter of fact, right here in this quad in 2008, Muhtar Kent, the chairman of the Coca-Cola Company, said in his address to the Oglethorpe graduating class of 2008, "Over the course of my career, I've noticed a common thread that runs through great leaders. Each has the uncanny ability to adapt," something that President Shaw just referred to embrace something new, and to make it better. "I'm convinced," he continued, "there is no better trait that you can bring to your life and career than the passion to learn how to learn, something that Oglethorpe has taught you so well." Muhtar Kent's words. And it's not just business leaders who excel from the liberal arts. Don't take my word for it. Ask Steve Carell, history, Kristen Chenoweth, music and theater, Conan O'Brien, English and history, Michael Lewis, art history, Oprah Winfrey, speech and drama, Stephen Colbert, philosophy, Ted Turner, classics, or Natalie Portman, psychology, to name a few. And what separates great liberal arts education from just good liberal arts education? Larry Shin, the recently retired president of Berea College, wrote, "Liberal education requires not only exposure to a broad range of liberal arts courses, but also the development of students' ability to integrate those varied perspectives and to solve real-world problems." That's what Chairman Kent was looking for. That's what he was talking about. And you know very well that it's what your Oglethorpe has given you. So I hope you're already starting to feel pretty good about the future. Furthermore, Jeff Abernathy, the president of Alma College in Michigan, writes that the future of liberal arts education must include high-impact practices such as internships, independent study, community service, and study abroad experience designed to deepen civic engagement. In the future, he says, we must bring the world to our campuses and ensure that our students have opportunities to learn through engagement with the world. Now, that may be the future at Alma College, but it's something those of you graduating from Oglethorpe today take with you right here, right now. So what can we conclude from all these learned people? The first quote alone cut your field of competition by 50%. And when you look at the rest of these quotes as to the importance of a liberal arts education and what it takes to have an extraordinary liberal arts education, I think we've cut at least another 49.5% out of the field. So in conclusion, while getting through the core might have been a little difficult at times, the rest of your life is going to be a piece of cake. Seriously, what I've tried to say today is stop, relax, feel good about what you've done. You're not just graduating from college today, you're graduating from Oglethorpe, and you have prepared yourself very, very well for life. Congratulations.
Thank you, Norm. It's my pleasure to begin the presentation of two special awards made at commencement to graduating seniors. I call on Dr. Devin Belcher to come forward to present the Sally Hull Weltner Award for Scholarship.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. I'm pleased to extend a warm welcome to our visitors and guests today as we gather to honor the achievement of our graduates. The Sally Hull Weltner Award is given annually in loving memory of Sally Hull Weltner, the wife of Dr. Philip Weltner, who was the president of Oglethorpe from 44 to 53. The award honors the student in the graduating class who has attained the highest level of scholastic achievement at Oglethorpe with the greatest number of hours of coursework. This year, I'm pleased to present the award to Andre Bozeman. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Congratulations, Andre, on this extraordinary achievement. Dr. Lynn Goody, would you please come forward to present the James Edward Oglethorpe Awards?
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. The James Edward Oglethorpe Awards are presented to the man and the woman in the senior class who, in the opinion of the faculty, realize most fully the aims of an Oglethorpe education in terms of scholarship, leadership, and character. I am pleased to present this year's James Edward Oglethorpe Awards to Kirsten Julie Glazer and Christopher Michael Yalen.
We're gonna go women first.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now it's your turn.
Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
It's all about lifelong learning. We recognize at commencement the outstanding work of two of our faculty members each year. I would like to ask Co-Provost Dr. John Nardo to assist me at the podium. These awards are selected by a committee of students, previous faculty award winners, and alumni members. Dr. Belcher, last year's recipient of the Lou Thomas Garrett Award for Meritorious Teaching, will present this year's winner. Dr. Belcher.
Thanks again, Dr. Shaw. The Lou Thomas and Garrett Award for Meritorious Teaching was established in 1994 through a generous endowment gift to the university from the late Lou Garrett and her husband, David Garrett. Mrs. Garrett was an Oglethorpe alumni, class of 1952, a member emerita of the Board of Trustees, and an Oglethorpe University honorary degree recipient in 1994. The award provides a cash prize of $2,000. In these presentations, it is traditional to describe the awardee in such a way as to keep everyone guessing about their identity until the very end. This year, however, that cat is out of the barn. Dr. Justin Wise is attending an academic conference today and could not be present. I already presented the award to him in front of the faculty at the faculty meeting a few weeks ago, but I'd still like to say a few words about Dr. Wise's awesomeness. Dr. Wise is an assistant professor in our psychology department here. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Southwest Texas State, his master's from the University of Texas, and his PhD from Georgia State University. Since his arrival in 2010, Dr. Wise has devoted his energy to teaching cognitive and linguistic development, focusing on the organic and environmental areas of development, language and literacy, and biopsychology. Dr. Wise's students know him as a tireless contributor to their lives and to the life of the university. His engagement reaches far beyond the classroom. Despite the fact that he routinely teaches some of the most difficult classes, his students love him for it. All the students I spoke with leveled that highest of praises, that these courses are the hardest and most challenging that they have taken, but the best and the most educational, and even the most enjoyable. Dr. Wise has guided many, I do mean many, students on the path to scholarship, co-authoring papers with several, and engaging several students in his own research. Recently, he guided a student through research culminating in what I understand was a spectacular conference presentation where the student was looked on as a genuine peer by the other conference goers. Not only does Dr. Wise guide students through high-level research and scholarship, but he personally attends conferences with the students, which is what he's doing today, not only when the students are presenting, but to expose students to the professional society that they will hopefully join. Dr. Wise's further engagement with students here can be seen on the lawn in late afternoons, where he teaches a free taekwondo class. He's perhaps the only professor I know who encourages his students to physically assault him. As a last remark, the most entertaining tidbit I learned while I was researching Dr. Wise is that he has a kiwon, or a karate yell, that sounds, in the words of several students, like a wounded baby harp seal. So hearty congratulations, Dr. Wise, and I hope you and your students are having a great time at the conference.
Thank you. I now call on the previous recipient of the Vulcan Materials Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award, Dr. Lynn Goody, to present this year's award.
Thank you again. It is my privilege to be here today to present the Vulcan Materials Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award to a fellow colleague. The Vulcan Award began in 1992 and is presented annually to a faculty who embodies the high standard and tireless spirit of the Oglethorpe faculty. Awardees teach with an unsurpassed passion and emerge as leaders across campus. They serve not only when asked, but also when needed. Today's honoree is no exception. In preparing for this introduction, students eagerly and generously supplied me with moving quotes and stories. According to one, this person's engaging classroom is just the beginning of what makes him or her an amazing professor. She wants all the students to succeed, not just pass the class, but really get something out of it. A senior sitting out here today commented, "After 4 years at OU, I would not hesitate to place him or her on my list of top five professors. Also, he genuinely cares about the courses she teaches as well as the students themselves, both inside and outside of the classroom." Yet another said, she is totally approachable and willing to work with students to achieve new heights. This faculty has served in a number of capacities on campus, from faculty advisor to several student clubs to multiple faculty committees per year. She has served on tenure and promotion, core curriculum, APC, faculty development, budget advisory, technology action group, in addition to being a board observer, to name just a few. She has also assisted students in many different capacities, along with advising over 30 students. As a member of Alpha Delta Kappa, she provided guidance and support to many. In 1985, he was selected as one of the 20 teachers from across the country to serve as a reader of the advanced placement exam in his discipline. Need a few more clues? One science major was appreciative of his ability to make a good joke every now and then. As she said, let's face it, kinematics isn't exactly the most thrilling subject at 8 o'clock in the morning. An engineering major remarked, he is always challenging his students. Last summer, when he was on vacation with his family, he helped me via email and phone calls about a project that ultimately gave me first place in the International Congress of Physics competition. Even when on vacation, he is there to inspire. And oh, by the way, this same student was appreciative of his encouraging words during basketball games where he sits at the scoring table. A core student was impressed with his ability to provide an experiment regardless of the topic, while an honor student wants to thank him for helping her jump every hurdle. He is the kind of professor every higher education employee should strive to be like in and out of the classroom, according to another. Gets no better than that. Credit to this faculty for providing the whole OU community with a better understanding of astronomical events. Thanks to his informative emails, I've been able to impress my friends and family. For example, in August of 2006, he was the one to officially inform us that there were no longer 9 planets, but rather 8. It had been decided by the International Astronomical Union that Pluto was out. Pluto had been demoted to a mere dwarf planet. Guess my 4th grade science project is now worthless. In June of 2012, we were alerted to a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It was the last chance we on Earth would have to see Venus transit the sun. If you missed his email and missed the transit, unfortunately, your next chance will not be until 2117. By now, you've likely guessed who the awardee is, but allow me to finish. He has held many titles over the years, having earned a master's and PhD in theoretical physics from the University of Georgia. Go Dogs. He came to Oglethorpe in 1982 and became a full professor in 1992. He has been division chair, the Manning Patillo Professor of Liberal Arts, director of instructional technology, and is currently the director of the honors program and honors council. His list of research presentations goes on for pages. The titles of his talks range from Is Stephen Hawking the Next Einstein? To A Brief History of the Universe, Big Bang to Big Crunch. You may be thinking, is she talking about Dr. Sheldon Cooper? Not exactly, but I am talking about OU's equivalent. It is clearly written in the stars that the 2014 Vulcan Award for Teaching Excellence and Leadership goes to Dr. Mike Rulison, Professor of Physics.
you. I want a copy of that. Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mike. I now call on Joseph White, the president of the senior class. Joseph had the good fortune to study abroad in Seoul, South Korea, where he became certified in intercultural education. He has been a very active member of Oglethorpe. As a member of our Student Government Association, student assistant in our study abroad program, interning with Global Atlanta, and in his spare time, driving the CCE van. Joseph will reach back into the past to make a special recognition. Joseph?
I am honored today to pay tribute to a group of special guests who are seated to my left. On this occasion, we are pleased to induct this special group of alumni into the Golden Petrel Society, Oglethorpe graduates who have graced our classrooms 50 or more years ago. It has been said that alumni are the keepers of campus traditions and the conscience of the institution. Our Golden Petrels clearly embody our proud Oglethorpe spirit and are exceptional representatives of our great institution. They invoke both our historic roots and our aspirations for the future. We look to the Golden Petrels have accomplished in all their lives as an inspiration to our seniors today as they embark upon similar journeys that began over 50 years ago. We hope that your presence will inspire our seniors to have confidence in what they have learned at Oglethorpe and that they will also strive for excellence in their lives and the careers as at Oglethorpe graduates have done for over 175 years. We are grateful for your continued involvement in the university, and we are proud of all that you have achieved. Will the Golden Petrels please rise? On behalf of the student body and the Oglethorpe National Alumni Association, for your steadfast commitment to the Oglethorpe University, we honor each of you today with this bronze medallion engraved with the original Oglethorpe crest. This medallion was created especially for our Golden Petrel members. We hope that you will cherish the Golden Petrel medallion and will wear it proudly at other university functions and future Golden Petrel ceremonies. Celebrating their 50th reunion, we welcome back following members of the class of 1964. Dr. William C. Aiken, Jr., Mr. Delmar Brinkley, Jr., Dr. James O. Bundy, Miss Jane Lincoln Bundy, Miss Linda Crow Chestnut, Mr. John David Chestnut, Colonel Kenneth P. Davis, Mr. John C. Day, Jr., Lieutenant Colonel James L. DeLay, Mr. Paul R. Donald, Jr., Dr. Beatrice Hasty Favre, Dr. Stephen K. Figuler, Miss Jo Payne Folds, Miss Carolyn Loborough Frangermore, Miss Brenda Starling Harker, Dr. William Buddy Harrison, Mr. S. Davis Kerr, Miss Laurel Sayward Mundorf, Miss Jane Archer Parker, Mr. Mike D. Pickett, Miss Paula Coker Rice, Mr. Conan Rudd, Miss Janet Yos Rudd, Miss Barbara Klein Stewart, Miss Sandra Woosley Thomas, Mr. George Hoyt Wagner, Miss Charlotte Smith Winsness, Mr. John Witness. Would everyone please rise and give these Golden Petrels a recognition?
Thank you, Joseph. Congratulations to all of you. I hope you noticed how many marriages were in that group. That's a hint for your graduating seniors. A traditional feature of Oglethorpe's commencement has been a presentation by a member of the senior class. And this year, Maya Hayes will speak on behalf of our traditional students, and she will be joined by Jim Weinstock, who will give us some insight for the vantage point of our non-traditional working adult students. Maya will be pursuing a master's in business administration. She has been instrumental in our Student Government Association all 4 years here, serving as president. And she and I are joined by our love of scandal.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shaw. Good morning, family, friends, faculty, administrators, honorary guests, Dr. Shaw, and most importantly, graduates. Today is a day of great honor and privilege. I stand before you all not only as your SGA president, but also as a peer and a friend, someone who has struggled, worked, played, and served side by side with you. Today is a day of celebration and praise that we all have earned. But tomorrow, we will each embark upon our own unique journey, with peaks and valleys that have yet to reveal themselves to us. There will be bumps and bruises, hardships and pains, as we go forth into our new lives. But there is no place that has equipped us better for these challenges than Oglethorpe University. And though a bit cliche, it is true that it seems like only yesterday we started this voyage together. Only yesterday did we make the ultimate decision to attend Oglethorpe. Only yesterday were we lined up in the Schmidt parking lot, anxiously awaiting the start of our freshman year. To take a first core class, to participate in our first day of service, to pull an all-nighter, and to eat the food of now the gone but never forgotten Emerson Student Center. Just to roll up our sleeves and do the work required for our unique liberal arts curriculum that comes with being an Oglethorpe Stormy Petrel. These are where our moments, our times, our memories, some small, some big, a few gaining our full attention, but many passing us by without a fleeting thought. But these moments designed and shaped us into who we are today and how we will influence the world. But today is not just a day for yourself. It's a day for our classmates, our friends, our families, the Oglethorpe community. And if our Oglethorpe education has taught us anything, it is that there is a world vastly greater than our own, and that it's our responsibility to make a life, make a living, and make a difference. To me, this means living a life full of grace and wonder, living a life being a good steward, living a life touching others, living it to its fullest, and being the change I want to see in the world. But the question is, what do these words mean to you, and how will you uphold these values? It is up to us to carry the principles we've learned here into the world and move forward. So as you walk across the stage and you shake Dr. Shaw's hand, take the time to relish the moment. You have accomplished that which many believe to be the impossible. And despite the fears of what to come, the butterflies fluttering in your stomach, there is no place that has helped shape and prepare you for this world better than Oglethorpe. Our goals may be changing, growing, and expanding with each new step and opportunity, but our destiny is clear. We were all taught, mentored, and fashioned for greatness. This day, more than any other, proves it. We are strong petrels with wings set aflame, guiding our ship into a new direction. So breathe, take it all in, cherish this moment, cherish the legacy that we've built together, the future that we hold in our palm, and most importantly, revel in this accomplishment. You are officially an Oglethorpe graduate and forever a Stormy Petrel. Congratulations.
Thank you, Maya. Speaking on behalf of our non-traditional students is Jim Weinstock, a 45-year veteran of the UPS company. He began UPS in 1969 as a part-time loader in Florida and rose to serve as Senior Vice President for Operations. His career and his decision to complete his degree at Oglethorpe are both extraordinary. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. President, the Board of Trustees, members of the staff, faculty,
students, and my many, many friends. I must tell you that I did have some reservations about accepting this invitation. As soon as my wife and daughters found out about it, all of my choices went away. They made me do it. I am, however, glad that you ask, not because I have something special to say that someone else couldn't say, but because this gives me an opportunity to say thank you to Oglethorpe for this wonderful opportunity and experience. I want to spend just a couple of minutes telling you why that thank you is appropriate. As you can probably tell from the color of my hair, I'm not your typical college student. I don't have those 8 a.m. classes with other bright-eyed 19-year-olds who are spending most of the class catching up on Facebook or tweeting friends about tweeting friends. But that's part of what's so special about being here at Oglethorpe. We get the opportunity to learn from a great group of professors and from a group of traditional students who have so much to offer those of us who spent so much of our time with our work that we missed a lot of how the world has changed about how things get done. I mean, I didn't know it was so easy to communicate with someone sitting right next to you. I thought, maybe you'd lean over and utter a few words, but really you just whip out that iPhone, run your fingers across the face a few times and press send. I mean, you guys really have it down. But seriously, I've learned so much from my association with the EDP program. Most EDP students are here because they need to complete their education to better themselves at work or better their associations. You should know that the work of the staff here and the faculty here is so important to them. These EDP students really get it. They know a pro when they see one. Instructors like Earl Howell or Ashley Tyndall and many others are the right mix of professional and professor that makes this learning experience what it should be. I've had a lot of my friends ask me, why are you in school, man? Why now? The answer is rather simple. I tell them that my search for knowledge and my search for ways to make a positive difference and ways to expand my worldview really forced me to make this stop. Oglethorpe, you've made it easy for me by offering a program that fits into my busy schedule, but really didn't limit my ability to experience what that 19-year-old college student experiences. This has been a special year for me. I get to finish up what I started some 45 years ago at a small school in Florida. It's also, as the president mentioned, my 45th year of association with UPS, which in a lot of ways was in education, probably my best. But this experience, this Oglethorpe experience, reminds me that each of us, no matter our station in life, no matter our age, can create a new beginning for ourselves. Frankly, my answer to my friends was rather simple. It's all a part of the approach of the undergraduate education that's called the Oglethorpe Way. For me, it was the one initiated by Dr. Philip Wetner nearly 70 years ago, and it's summed up by the fact that I've made a living. Now it's time for me to make a life and make a difference. Thank you and good luck. Wrong way.
Thank you, Jim. I now call on the president of the Oglethorpe University National Alumni Association, Austin Gillis, to make some comments. Austin is a graduate from the class of 2001.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw, and good morning, everyone. It is indeed my honor to serve as the president of the Oglethorpe University Alumni Association. On behalf of our more than 9,000 active alumni, it is my distinct privilege to welcome our graduates as the newest members of the Oglethorpe University Alumni Association. 13 years and about 40 pounds ago, I stood up on this stage and spoke to my classmates as president of my senior class. And when I think back on my own graduation day, I honestly can't remember the words that I spoke, but I remember the feelings that I felt. I remember feeling joy. It was on top of the world. My sense of achievement was thrilling, matched only by the excitement of having a bright future with limitless possibilities. I remember feeling gratitude. I was grateful for my professors who imparted so much knowledge and hopefully a little wisdom. I was grateful for my friends with whom I had experienced so much in the Oglethorpe bubble, and I was grateful for my parents, who had sacrificed so much for me to walk across the stage. I also remember feeling just a touch of sadness. There's a certain melancholy that came with knowing that it would be the last time that I would sit with my classmates assembled as one. A certain melancholy that came with knowing that this was the last time my immaturity could be chalked up as, well, he's a college student. And a certain melancholy that came with knowing that the real world was fast approaching. So today I encourage you graduates to embrace all of these feelings. I want you to take a moment and revel in your accomplishment. Take a moment and gaze out on our beautiful campus like a conquering general. I want you to find your professors and your friends, and especially your parents, and tell them, thank you. And lastly, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the many changes at hand. But do not think that as you drive away from campus today, that you are leaving Oglethorpe behind. Your relationship with the university may be changing today, but Petrels always have a home here on Peachtree Road. And further, no matter how far you may go from this campus, I know from experience that part of Oglethorpe will always stay with you, whether it's a lesson you learned in a core class, an experience you shared with classmates on the quad, friend connections. In countless ways, Oglethorpe stays with you. So with that, I ask all those graduating today who are wearing their class rings to now turn the ring with the university coat of arms facing outward, so that the coat of arms in the university's name is easily seen by all those that you meet as evidence of your achievement and your lifelong connection to the university. I encourage all of you, as the newest members of the Alumni Association, to stay engaged with, and be generous to, your alma mater. I encourage you to be bold and to make your mark on the world. And I encourage you all to enjoy this, your special day. Thank you for your time, and long may you run.
Thank you, Austin. We will now hear from Kyle Brumley, a former member of our university's singers, a graduate in 2012, who will sing for us America the Beautiful.
Spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human liberties. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea, from sea to shining sea.
Now, Dr. Ray, am I correct in that there's a story behind Kyle coming back? So I'm getting old, I'm afraid my memory goes. But 2 years ago, when Kyle was to sing America the Beautiful at commencement, somebody made the fateful call of holding commencement outside while it was raining. It wasn't me. We've long since let that person go. But in the midst of singing, the power went out. And so about every fifth word that Kyle sang could be heard. So terrific to have you back. We now come to the part of the program that is particularly special. I'm going to ask Dr. Nardo to join me again as we recognize our honored guests, our emeriti faculty. John?
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. This spring, the Board of Trustees approved tenure for 3 of our distinguished faculty members, Dr. Devin Belcher in philosophy, Dr. John Merkel in mathematics, and Dr. Leah Zinner in psychology. Congratulations to our newest tenured faculty members, and to have a nice mathematical symmetry, the new with the retired and distinguished alumni. It is my pleasure to call Dr. Zinner to the podium.
Thank you, Dr. Nardo. With the endorsement of the Oglethorpe University faculty and the Board of Trustees, I am honored today to read the citation. Our esteemed faculty emeriti, honored members of our community, respected scholars, colleagues, outstanding teachers, advisors, and dedicated university citizens. You have served this university well, and in doing so, you have contributed to its greatness. You have set a benchmark for faculty quality and masterful teaching that reflects the best of the liberal arts and sciences tradition, and the unique institutional characteristics of Oglethorpe. You have brought life and relevance to our classical ideals and inspired thousands of students to make a life, make a living, and make a difference. Collectively, you have given more than 350 years of service to Oglethorpe University. You have guided the evolution of our curriculum, built new programs, lived the core, and pursued your craft as teachers, advisors, economists, mathematicians, biologists, scientists, librarians, accountants, musicians, artists, philosophers, and visionaries. Under your watch, more than 8,500 students graduated from our university, as you honored our commitment to provide academically rigorous programs with an emphasis on intellectual curiosity, individual attention and encouragement, close collaboration among faculty and students, and active learning in relevant field experiences. Your years of dedication defined Oglethorpe. You have served as division chairs, provosts, deans, and on uncountable faculty committees, building a legacy not only in our classrooms, but in the community and the globe. You have led by example and exhibited professional and personal lives of distinction. In recognition of your contributions to this university and beyond, I present, with the endorsement of the Oglethorpe University faculty and the Board of Trustees, the following faculty emeriti for honorary degrees honoris causa. Dr. G. Malcolm Amerson, Doctor of Science; Mr. Keith E. Baker, Doctor of Science in Accounting; Mr. James A. Bohart, Doctor of Fine Arts; Dr. William L. Brightman, Doctor of Humane Letters; Dr. Barbara R. Clark, Doctor of Humane Letters; Dr. Charlton H. Jones, Doctor of Science in Business; Dr. Nancy H. Kerr, Doctor of Science; Dr. J. Brian Key, Doctor of Humane Letters; Dr. David K. Mosier, Doctor of Science in Mathematics, Dr. Philip J. Nuyar, Doctor of Humane Letters, Dr. Ken Nishimura, Doctor of Humane Letters, Dr. Beth Roberts, Doctor of Humane Letters, Mr. John A. Ryland, Doctor of Humane Letters, Dr. William O. Shropshire, Doctor of Science in Economics, Dr. William F. Straley, Doctor of Science in Business, Dr. T. Levon Talley, Doctor of Humane Letters, Dr. Louise M. Valine, Doctor of Humane Letters, Dr. Martha H. Vardaman, Doctor of Science, Dr. Victoria L. Weiss, Doctor of Humane Letters, and Dr. Philip P. Zinsmeister, Doctor of Science.
Could Dr. Brightman, Dr. Clark, Dr. Nishimura, Dr. Talley, Dr. Valine, and Dr. Bohart please join me across the stage? And will their presenters please come forward? That wasn't easy. Dr. Brightman, Dr. Clark, Dr. Nishimura, Dr. Talley, and Dr. Valine. By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. And Dr. Bohart, by the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Fine Arts, honoris causa, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Please join me in congratulating this group. Thank you all. Now, Dr. Amerson, Dr. Vardaman, Dr. Zinsmeister, Dr. Baker, Dr. Jones, Dr. Straley, and Dr. Shropshire, could you please join me across the podium and do what we just did? Come a little forward so people can come behind you. We've got to, the order doesn't matter. Make sure we can do all up front. Got one on the, all right, see who we're missing. Brian's coming around. That wasn't any easier. Dr. Amerson, Dr. Vardaman, and Dr. Zinsmeister, by the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Dr. Baker, Dr. Jones, Dr. Straley, and Dr. Shropshire, by the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the degree of Doctor of Science in Accounting, business, and economics respectively, honoris causa, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Thank you. Well done. Good job. I'll get your diplomas. No, we gotta get you. Oh. Thank you. There we go. Congratulations to you all. Thank you, Larry. Today, the senior member of our Emeriti faculty, as well as the one who has traveled the greatest distance, Dr. Ken Nishimura, will be speaking on behalf of honorary degree candidates. I had the great privilege, with my wife Betty, to visit Dr. Nishimura in his home country of Japan just a year ago. For nearly 50 years, he has been a bridge for our university to the East, bringing students and ideas to the university. He joined our faculty in 1964. Dr. Nishimura was the son of a Methodist minister who had served in the poorest areas of Tokyo for more than 50 years. We are fortunate that you have brought your spirit of giving and your spirit of commitment to our university for so long. It is this dedication of yours that is shared by this exemplary group of former faculty members behind me that makes Oglethorpe what it is. Dr. Nishimura, would you please come to the podium?
Mr. Norm Findlay, Chairman of the Board, President Larry Scholl, distinguished members of the faculty, and my dear emeriti faculty members. And then, of course, above all, the class of 2014, and the friends of Oglethorpe family, we salute for this able stormy patriots who are prepared to commence new adventures against the dark sky which surrounds the spaceship Earth. Personally, exactly 20 years ago, I left Oglethorpe. It was after the 1994 commencement, just like this one. I was sent by then the President Donald Stanton, who sits by there, for 2 years teaching assignment at the newly created sister school in Tokyo, Japan, named Seigakuin University, and left Atlanta the same day. At the international airport, I took Delta Flight 061 at the same day. It took me 20 years, exactly 20 years since then. Instead of 2 years, I returned to Oglethorpe's 2014 commencement today. I'm very honored to speak on behalf of my colleagues. During my teaching at Oglethorpe, I came to know many of them who distinguished academic excellence, professional effectiveness, and student various services. It was the pride of my life to share faculty meeting, various committee meeting, and then the student assemblies, particularly Therian Society. with such a group of faculty who are so able to work together. With my poor command of English language, even getting poorer, why the president requests me this distinction, I have no idea. Except I am advanced in age, and my service to Oglethorpe traces back to 1963, half a century ago. That makes me the most senior of the group. I could spend this morning, this afternoon, on the happiest memories of life here on this campus. I want to tell you about, however, 3 of personally unforgettable experiences which happened during my life. First, it was March 9th, 1945. Most of you are not living yet. I was awakened by the air raid warning, and my house was hit by incendiary bombs, totally destroyed. That evening, saturation bombing of 300 some B-29s resulted in more than 100,000 deaths in the empire's capital city, which was totally in ruin. As for me, this bombing raid killed numerous friends, leaving in my mind anger, hatred, and determination to fight back. And yet, I had a huge vacuum of hopelessness. Incidentally, it was Christmas Eve of 1992. Yuko, my wife, and I were invited by Major and Mrs. Eugene Fraser, who lives in this neighborhood, who was retired Air Force major. When I stood by his invitation, came to his house, then instead of greetings, Eugene said, "Does March 9th means anything?" That date, I had no way to forget about. So I said, "Yes, I do." Then he said, "I was there, but I was in the sky." I suddenly realized that if he flew over Tokyo from the Tinian Islands, Steve Schmidt often told me about that too, and led the raid against Tokyo with the 320 B-29s. I told Eugene, I certainly remember March 9th, 1945, and my life was totally ruined by his raiding mission. Eugene begged my forgiveness. My response was instant acceptance. Both of us embraced each other, cried, and our bitterness disappeared instantly. Secondly, it was May 3rd of 1954. After 13 days of a voyage on board the SS President Cleveland, I stood on the Pier 29 near San Francisco's Golden Gate. Sometime later on, I came to knock at the door of Oglethorpe University. Then Dean George Seward met me very pleasantly. He explained the Oglethorpe idea, and then Dr. Philip Welter's precious educational idea. George told me how he would love for me to come to teach. And I was puzzling on what to do. about this situation. He said, you can teach 5 core programs of Oglethorpe University, namely human understanding, Hebrew prophets, moral and character, philosophy of religion, and the interpretation of history. I taught all these courses, particularly interpretation of history, with my and many of yours friends, Leo Bilancio. I mentioned that I had some more assignment at the Emory University where I was assistant. Dr. Donald Agnew, then the president of Oglethorpe, said, oh, that's easy. I shall be replacing you for 2 years at the Emory. By that time, I was totally caught by Oglethorpe's charm. And from then till retirement in 1997, my love were deepened for this community of Dr. Weltner's Oglethorpe ideal. Third, spaceship Earth raided by tsunami, earthquake, and nuclear pollution in the year 2011. That was March 11th of 2011. I was serving as a United Methodist minister in Tokyo, so I was burying one lady's ashes by the Tokyo Bay, and then I felt a great shake, and my car started sinking in the water. And I knew that I must escape from this situation. My car was sunk by water, brought by the tsunami. I had a narrow escape of death once again. But this time, I heard a voice inside of me. Your escape was provided for the purpose to share the spaceship planet Earth and to respond this situation with the prayer of Assisi of Francesco. He prayed, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. Dr. Shaw, I admire your dream to make metropolitan Atlanta a classroom and to let our young petrels make a life, make a living, make a difference. Educational reality. However, Metro Atlanta must not be the limit. It must go beyond Georgia, beyond the USA and the European community, even the Asian frontier. They must be included politically, socially, economically, and educationally. And I'm proud to announce our community of educators in Tokyo just officially announced the new school, Shion Christian International School, from which you shall receive eventually many graduates at the Oglethorpe University. And I desire your stormy patriots will come to Tokyo to assist our new school. To my fellow faculty on stage, I want to thank all of you. You are part of my life to this day. To the faculty serving today, here at Oglethorpe University, we esteem and encourage you. For our graduates of class of 2014, their family, and Oglethorpe families, we salute you. Your future has a purpose, a mission for which you are prepared to commence your life. May the Lord bless, and thank you.
Thank you so much. We are now ready to begin awarding degrees and diplomas. First, I have a few extra words to say. No. Dr. Ofterheide, acting co-provost, would you please come forward to present the candidates for degree? And Chairman Finley, will you please join me to my right in the presentation of the diplomas to our graduates?
Thank you and good morning. As I call a graduate's name, I may indicate that he or she is graduating cum laude. That means that a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 or higher out of 4.0 has been achieved. Magna cum laude indicates a cumulative grade point average of 3.7 or higher. Summa cum laude, the highest honor, designates a graduate who's achieved 3.9 or higher on a 4.0 scale. A select few students are graduating with honors in an academic discipline. They have successfully completed our honors program, which includes the writing of a thesis under the direction of a faculty advisor, who will come to the platform to hood his or her graduate. Dr. Michael Rulison, director of the honors program, will assist with the hooding. I may also indicate in 2 cases that a student will be graduating with a certificate in urban ecology. The urban ecology program uses Atlanta as an outdoor laboratory to prepare students to promote and implement sustainable development through leadership in education and public policy. So that each candidate's name may be heard clearly, may I ask, please, that you hold your applause until all graduates have been awarded their diplomas. And one final logistical note to parents and friends. Our Office of University Communication has employed a professional photographer to photograph each graduate twice. Once as diplomas are awarded, and then a second time as each graduate exits the stage. There are areas on either side of the platform which you may approach if you wish to take pictures, but I respectfully ask that you please remain behind the roping to allow the professional photographers to take photos, and so that the flow of students is not interrupted as each exits the stage. And this area is also in sort of the viewing line of our professional photographers. Thanks in advance for your cooperation. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please rise? President Shaw, the faculty recommends these candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Arts degree, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies please rise? President Shaw, the faculty recommends these candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies degree, with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration please rise? President Shaw, the faculty recommends these candidates for the the Bachelor of Business Administration degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Business Administration degree with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree please rise? President Shaw, the faculty recommends these candidates for the Bachelor of Science degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Bachelor of Science degree with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Please be seated. Master of Arts in Teaching students, I'm not forgetting you. We will come back to you later. Will the first two rows only of the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree please rise and come forward? The remaining candidates should remain seating until instructed otherwise by the marshals. Ifeanyuchukwu Alexandra Akiti. Serena Catherine Andrews, magna cum laude. Jessica Marie Eyre. Natalia Beretta Raballo. Courtney Michelle Barrett. Kendall Allen Bexley Jr. Dominica Marta Borsos. Charles O'Halloran Boyd, magna cum laude, honors program, thesis director Dr. Nicholas Marr, being hooded this morning by Dr. Mario Chandler. Morgan Angelique Brandon. Maceo Renee Brown. Tirza Caitlin Brown. Naomi R. Carroll. Elizabeth Dancy Cheatwood. Lee Alexandra Craig. Kenisha Danielle Curry. Lisan Ava Edelman. Julia Marjorie McCaffrey Edwards. Bradley Stephen Fanning. Jacob Edward Fields, cum laude. Chelsea Marie Goddardam, cum laude. Kirsten Julie Glazer, cum laude, Honors Program, Thesis Director, Dr. Brad Stone. Sandra Joyce Harris, magna cum laude. Christian M. Hartnett. Kalon Anthony Hoggebrook. Allison H. Hayden, cum laude. Maya Angel Hayes. Andrea Victoria Herbener. Catherine Huntington, summa cum laude. Olma Kadri. Alexa Eve Kessler. Spencer Margaret Knaus. Christian Locklear. John Nelson Marsh III. Richard Easton McCann III. Brianna Kaylin Mongerson. Catherine Alessandra Muller. Justin Allen Munson. Linda J. Napier. Khadija Amber Nisar. I'm going to do my best, maybe. Joachim Uchichachukuka Ogodi. I practiced that a long time last night, but I should have gone one more time. Eric Otness. Amanda Renee Piorino. Who are you? Did you go to school here? Shelby Francis Pressler, cum laude. Eric William Quinn. Corey Stephen Ray, cum laude, honors program, thesis director, Dr. John Orm. Chelsea Ayoka Rodriguez. Keelan Rogers. Matthew Philip Rowe. Kadeja Janae Scott. Catherine Elizabeth Wolf Cease, magna cum laude, honors program, Dr. Peter Cower, thesis director. Ashley Marie Slater. Shelby Nicole Smith. Clara Martine Saint-Urbain. Kai Gordon Street. Cameron Taylor. David Franklin Todd. Emily Brooke Varner. Monica Toshi Watanabe. Scott Jacob Weaver. Joseph Alexander White. Norman Arell Chad Williams IV.
Okay, we worked on this. You can do this.
I got
You can do it.
Awet Goitom Walde Gabriel. Christopher Michael Yalen, magna cum laude, honors program, Dr. Seema Srikandi, thesis director. Selena Rafaela Beverly. Yolanda O. Grace. Vanessa N. Hamilton. Jane L. Narciso. Latanya S. Overstreet, cum laude. Lanisha Lorraine Russell. Andre Bossman, summa cum laude. Ashley Bell Chatley. Alisa Lawton, cum laude. Claire G. Mayo. Stephanie Meister. Darcy Jean Nelson, magna cum laude. Jeffrey Scott Taylor, cum laude. Jim Weinstock, magna cum laude. I'm doing good. Khalid M. Amirkhani. Sharia Monea Anthony. Laura Catherine Asmunson, magna cum laude. Brian C. Bailey. Brittany Nicole Blaylock, summa cum laude. Joseph Antonio Buscini. Catherine P. Castle.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Tyler Corson. Kevin P. Dearden. Aaron V. Del Rosario. Danielle N. Ferguson. Nia Quach Friley. Justin Micaiah Graves. Krista Marie Gray, magna cum laude. Lewis Matthew Gregory. William Sheldon Gregory, cum laude. Price Hamilton, William Henry Hanna IV, Johan A. Hassan Ali, Jomi Chunmi Hirata, Kiana Elise Jenkins, Anquinetta Shunay Keenan, Donna Margaret Kayosef, summa cum laude. Catherine Lancaster, David James Langen, Marissa Elizabeth Ann Henry Lewis, cum laude. Haley Marie Lister, Aisha Lodia, cum laude. Faith Chantal Marable, Morgan Chappelle McDonald, Sonia Morgana Meyer, Ethan Alil Motz, Cooper James O'Brien, Shalini Iman Offord, Timothy Palmer, Ravina Patel, Ravina Dharmendra Patel, what I meant to say, of course, was Rikita Dharmendra Patel. Jessica Leanne Pierce, Marquel Antoine Pike. I'm good, how are you? Jabe Hunter Riley, cum laude. Sophia Nicole Rodriguez. Betsy Naomi Rosillo, cum laude. Frank Andrew Sarno. Timothy J. Schmutz, magna cum laude. Kevin Ung Sai, summa cum laude. Kathleen Aaron Shea, magna cum laude. Moira Spears. Kaisha Koya Rakila Stote. Lucas Strasser. Mary Bibb Swims, cum laude. Jacob Len Tadich. Carissa Charmaine Thomas. Stephen Casey Tuttle. Alexander Vidal. Nicole Wajaya. Martha Helen Williams. Nicholas Augustus Williamson. Tiffany Zimniak. Let's now recognize and applaud these graduates. Will the candidates for Master of Arts in Teaching degree please rise? President Shaw, the faculty recommends these candidates for the degree Master of Arts in Teaching.
By the authority vested in me by the Charter and by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer on you the Masters of Arts in Teaching degree with all the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining.
Will the candidates come forward, please? The Master of Arts in Teaching and Early Childhood Education, the highest degree that can be earned at Oglethorpe, is distinguished in its preparation of teachers as they begin their teaching careers. It is based on the same commitment to critical inquiry and a broad liberal arts background as our undergraduate degrees, believing that this is the best kind of preparation, not only for teachers, but also for the elementary students in our metropolitan schools. Whitney Hillman Coleman. Ashley Ann Cooper. Calicia L. Holder. Mary D. McCullough. Laura J. McCrae. Christy Bagley Niles. Blair Christina Oakley. Justine Marie Phelps. Taylor Tingle Stone. Susan Ann Swanner. Let's give these graduates our congratulations.
Joseph, if you would join me at the front of the stage, and class of 2014, would you please rise? The class of 2011 established a new tradition with a tassel turn, and we will carry it forward again this year. So I will request a drum roll followed by a 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then a statement to move your tassels. You should follow Joseph as tassels are moved from the right to the left. So if you've got them on the wrong side, put them on the right side. And while you are doing that, the rest of us will extend our heartiest congratulations and best wishes to all of you. So drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Please be seated. So, at the conclusion of the ceremony, when the rain begins, faculty and trustees will recess first to form a receiving line immediately behind you on the sidewalk between Lupton and Hearst. The graduates of the class are asked to proceed to the receiving line and visit with individual faculty members as you wish. Guests who wish to visit with faculty are also welcome to join the graduates at that time. And please linger, not too long. Enjoy the fellowship and the refreshments that have been set out for you. I'll also ask you to notice there are recycling containers around, so if you've got water bottles, please use them. In a moment, thank you, Dr. Shadler, for corralling them all. Dr. Ray and the Oglethorpe Commencement Chorale will lead us in singing our alma mater. The words are in your program. This will be the last time you have the opportunity to sing it, at least for a while. And remain standing after the singing of the alma mater for the benediction, which will also be sung by the chorale. And then please remain at your seats until the marshals have escorted the platform party out and the graduates out. Would you please now all stand for the singing of our alma mater?